Good morning. Little bit late, sorry. Life just got ahead of me today. Whew. And I'm still prepping, sort of. I kind of know what I'm doing, ish, a little bit. I mean, I know which sweet I'm using. Morning B, I am using the Harvest Meadow sweet, which is on page 54 to 56. Morning Claire, morning Judith, morning Lorna, morning Jan. Gosh, you're all bright and early this morning, unlike me. So yes, we are looking at the Harvest Meadow. I will show you this better when we flip down. But we are looking at the Harvest Meadow Sweet. Morning Audrey. So yes, I sort of know what I'm doing. I have it in my head. I haven't prepped, which is never a good thing. So it's weather forecast time. It's an I can't make my mind up day today. So it's a little overcast, well, not overcast, cloudy, with the odd bit of sunshine. Morning, Margaret. Yes, I'm well, thank you. Thank you for letting me know that your prize arrived. I've got something in my eye, I think, which is not good. Anywho, fortunately I haven't got any makeup on, otherwise I'd end up looking like a panda. So, yes. Hopefully you all saw my newsletter that I sent out earlier today, which is scary. This is my tracker for, let's see if I can see if you can see it. Yes, you can. So this is my tracker for the incentive trip. And I've only got this little bit to go. So it's really scary. I've got about 2,500 points out of 40 to get, which is truly scary. And I've got until the end of September. So we've got Karen, who is joining us in the evening from Oz. Yes, I'm very well. It's sunny with a breeze in Essex with B. Martin is seeing the Bat Guy this afternoon, so we're off to the Manor later this afternoon. He's got his medication kind of right, so at the moment he's not in too much discomfort. He's not sleeping well still, which of course means I'm sleeping so well. But yeah, he's okay. He's okay, but hopefully we'll get some idea of what we can do to make things better. Morning, Deborah from Brisbane. So, as I say, I'm using the Harvest Meadow, and I'm hoping, if I can get my butt in gear, that this will be the next class I do. I missed doing a class for a month because we're doing product shares. I'm hoping to get those out later this week, all things being equal. I've got everything, I just need to chop it all up and stuff, so fingers crossed I can get that out this week. And also the thank you packs, and those of you who are in the In Colour Club, those will be going out as well. Hi Nora. So yes, lots busy old week for me this week, but I will be looking at the Harvest Meadow suite for the next class. And I'm going to do 2 shameful plugs. I've already sort of done one. So those of you who buy from me or are in my team, etc., etc., if there's anything you can do to either buy something from me or promote, if you're in my team, morning Wendy, between now and the end of September, I will be immensely grateful, because there is a vague chance that I might earn the incentive trip. This is obviously up for debate as to whether or not we'll be able to go on it, bearing in mind it's a cruise in the Caribbean, and I don't know whether we'll be able to travel or not, but that's not the point. It's a goal I set myself, 3 years ago, and I am so close. I've got just over 5% to go. So that's shameful plug 1. Shameful plug 2 is that on my blog today, I have got my entry for Kylie Bertucci's international highlights. which is the one where you go and vote. So if you fancy going and having a look at it and voting for my project, which uses the Harvest Meadow suite, in fact, I've cased one of the cards from the catalogue, then I would be very, very grateful for your vote. So that's the shameful plugs over. Good morning, Kathleen from Florida. So those of you who are not in the UK, if you would like to vote for my card in Kylie's International Blog Highlights, thank you, Nora. And I know Wendy's already voted as well. So, yes, if there's anything you can do to promote that, that would be great. Always wonderful if you share videos and that sort of thing. If you don't already subscribe, that's wonderful. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Yes, Wendy, I knew you'd already voted because I saw your post earlier. Now, why can't I see? I'm minus a... Thank you, Margaret. Margaret will vote. Claire voted for me last night. Gosh, you were up late. It didn't go live until 11 o'clock. Whoa. Gosh. I scheduled it. I was in bed by 11 o'clock, I tell you. I was almost asleep by 11 o'clock because if I don't get to sleep early, then the painkillers wear off on himself and I get woken up again. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Probably a daft question, but will using my vouchers count towards sales? Yes, it will, Judith. It absolutely will because it's sales. So using your vouchers means that I exchange your vouchers, your customer vouchers, for product, which is sales. So 2,500 points equates to, and this is a scary number, about £2,000 of sales. Now that is between now and the end of September, which normally I would expect to get, but my blood pressure is currently going through the roof, which is why I have also sent a plea out to my team to see if any of them fancy promoting, because that actually gets a lot of points. You've got 20 now, so that's 2 lots of 10. Woohoo! So yes, that would help. Absolutely. Will me joining help because I need to email you later? Joining always helps, Claire, not least of all because it means next year I have a better chance of earning the trip. So yes, drop me an email later and we can have a chat. I will be going over to the hospital with himself at about 2 o'clock, but I probably will be in the car park with nothing to do, so I can always answer emails. So yes, and I would love you to join my team, Claire. It would be wonderful. Now, the Harvest Meadow, is that one of the free... Where's my sale-a-bration catalogue? There it is. Is it one of the free bundles that you can add? Thank you, Nora, for saying good luck. Harvest Meadow. Nature's Harvest. Yes, it is. It's almost like I planned it. Anyway, I've been blithering on for about 10 minutes, so let me flip down. Morning, Margaret. Another Margaret, so I'm going to flip down. So this is... Ooh, helps if I can actually not just see. You've got this set, have you, Deborah? It's wonderful. I love it. One of the reasons I'm looking at this for my next class is because I like to be able to do my classes so that you don't have to have the stamps and dies, which means that if I wanted to feature a stamped image, you would have to have the stamps and the stamps to do that. So, for example, this project, which is the one that I have cased for my card for Kylie's International Blog Highlights, that I wouldn't use in a class because you have to have the stamp set. Now, that's not to say I wouldn't encourage people to have the stamp set. Yours is coming, is it, Jan? Good. So, but things like this, which uses the dies, I can do for a class because it means I can die cut them, which is kind of where we're going today. So this is the whole suite. So we've got the bundle, we've got the time-worn type, which I haven't got yet but is coming, the cork paper, which is to die for, the brush metallic adhesive back dots, which I like. Now, my upline knows that my favourite gems of the moment are the in colour jewels, and she suspects that these are going to become my next favourite. They're on the top 3, but they're not going to get the in colour jewels off the top. So, you know, it's on your list, is it, Nora? Yours should arrive tomorrow, Wendy. So my timing is perfect. The diamond weave ribbon, which is nice, it's quite chunky. I will use it on one of the projects today, but it's quite chunky. I didn't get the DSP because you've got leftover from the Dragonfly Garden. They are similar, but not the same, I would say. But you can certainly use this stamp set with Dragonfly Garden. But the DSP is gorgeous, I have to say. So let me show you what I have prepped. And then I'm going to kind of busk, because I actually do not know what I'm going to make. It's been a fairly busy morning this morning. You're going to watch the replay. You're going back to bed, not feeling well. Oh, I'm sorry, Kathleen, that you're not feeling well. Feel better soon. And yes, the joy of YouTube Live is that you can catch up with it. So I have already die cut using some of the basic border dies, which I love, by the way. This little piece, which I've actually used on another card, which will be coming out later, either this week or next week. You might be changing your mind with the DSP. Well, you never know, Deborah. So this is just a little piece I had left over. I have also, and this is in today's, no, it's in a post later this week, where I'm using the Gorgeous Leaves bundle. And I've dyed the bedazzling paper. Now I've used, this has got adhesive strip on the, adhesive sheet on the back, by the way. I used 100% alcohol, but I think you could do it with just water and a spritzer. But I used alcohol because it dries quicker. And I'm an impatient bunny at the best of times. So I've die cut that with another of the basic borders dies. So these are the basic borders dies. So that's one, that's another, and obviously I've got the other piece of that. I have already die cut the ears of wheat, the daisy. Now I need to make sure that I don't put those so you can't see them, so I'll put them over here. And the flowers, and I've used the craft paper. Is it paper? Do we call it paper or do we call it card? We call it paper. So the 6x6 craft paper pack. It's quite a stiff and quite a fibrous card, so I do find that you need to run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine a couple of times just to make sure that it die cuts properly, but it's because it's that fibrous finish. So I've got that ready. I've also, so this was the piece that I die cut, and I've cut that down. I've got a piece of the Misty Moonlight paper. I've got some card blanks. And that's kind of it, really. But I thought what I would do is make some cards using all of this. And maybe some other bits. I'll need to cut some matte as we go along. But, yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me just bring out... So this is the stamp set, just so you can see it. This is actually quite an interesting stamp. I think this is like silver birch bark. I don't know what it's meant to be, but I think it's, when I've stamped it, it looks like silver birch bark. And it's really pretty. What I want to try doing is heat embossing it on smoky slate, but in silver, or maybe a mix of silver and white, because, you know, why not mix your embossing powders? This I love. Absolutely gorgeous, and you can do a really lovely watercolour effect, which, as I say, I have got on my blog today. And it uses Stampin' Right markers. It's brilliant. Is that a thistle die cut? I don't think it is technically a thistle. It's the whatever this is. You could use it as a thistle. What I would do if you wanted to use it as a thistle is I would cut it there and turn that bit upside down. So you could actually. So yes, you could. I'm thinking, which colour would I do it in? Bum, bum, bum. I would probably do it in Gorgeous Grey, the top one. This one. No, I think it's more cornflower. But you could, as I say, you could make that into a thistle. I think this is more cornflower, although it has got those nice spiky bits. Yeah, I agree, Margaret. I think it's a cornflower, and certainly for the card that I've done and later that I've done that I haven't blogged yet, I would say it's cornflower. I've treated it as a cornflower. And this, as I say, is an ear of wheat, they are ears of wheat or grass, which are my family crest, because this is an ear of wheat on my signet ring. But yeah, I would say if we take that and put it that way up and put a stalk on, I would think that would be quite a nice thistle, actually. So, as I say, I have nothing planned other than this is what I'm using. So let's launch into it. I'm going to start with my soft succulent piece. Now, I watched Kylie Bertucci's, or some of Kylie Bertucci's live from last week, and she was doing the is it mint macaron or not, and also is it calypso coral or Cajun craze. So let me get mint macaron out. So that is mint macaron, and that is soft succulent, and I can certainly see that this is a better match than this. This is actually too yellow. It's got too much of a yellow in it. So I would say not mint macaron. We might do a calypso coral and Cajun craze on the one of the other colours. So let's get a scrappy scrap. So that's calypso coral and Cajun craze, which is one of the inks I used. No, it isn't. I used cinnamon cider, Merry Merlot, and blackberry bliss for this. I think it's a coneflower. Yes, I think you're right. I think it is a coneflower rather than an echinacea. But it could be an echinacea. But you could turn it upside down. And so, is it calypso coral or is it Cajun craze? I think the answer is yes. Frankly, I think it could be either. But it definitely says Cajun craze. But I think you could get away with using either. And indeed, we might well be using either. So, after which, the other colours I think are fairly straightforward. It's definitely crumb cake, not Sahara Sand. Sahara Sand's a bit green, in my humble opinion. Anyway, so I'm going to use the Misty Moonlight first. As I say, don't know what I'm doing with it, but I'm going to be using Misty Moonlight, and I think I'm going to use, I don't know actually, I might use a Real Contrast and use Bumblebee, because Bumblebee is one of them as well. Hello Lisa from South Australia. Soft succulent looks the closest. Oh, it's definitely soft succulent, definitely not mint macaron. Mint macaron is too yellowy. Right, so although this is in the Bumblebee is in the papers, indeed there it is, I would actually put something between the Misty Moonlight and the Bumblebee. And I think I'm going to use crumb cake. I need to find a better home for my mats now that I've moved my inks. It's fine when I'm crafting on my own, but not so great when I'm crafting with you guys. So I could use white, but I think I'm going to use... Let's try white, though. Now, I thought I had some white out. I do. I have some white ready to go. So... No, I think I actually like that, because I'm going to use the craft card on it. I think I need there to be a bit of a thing. Thank you, Wendy. Yes, thumbs up. We like thumbs up. So I'm going to cut this down quite a bit, actually. This is my usual 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. Measurements will be over on my website at some point. I'm going to cut it down by 1/4 of an inch. So it's going to be 3 5/8 by 5 3/8, so that there's a definite intention of a wider margin all round. So there's, as I say, a definite intention that we're going to have a wider margin with that. Ooh, I'm wondering if I then want that. Nope, I'm going to go with my first gut feel. Hello, Leslie. Leslie is new to my team. Leslie has joined my team. Yay! Very happy. Very happy. And hopefully Leslie will be very happy too. And yes, I can do an impression of a 5-year-old child on a good day. However, so, Bumblebee. Right, so I'm going to be bold and stick this down, so I need some seal. I have a sneaking suspicion I'm going to need to change rolls of seal partway through, but that's fine. In fact, now, I don't actually mind changing because it shows you how easy it is. So you just pull the two pieces apart, take that out. Now, because I can recycle the plastic but not the tape, because where we are we can't recycle the tape, I actually split them in two. So this goes in my recycling and that goes in my general waste. So that's that. Let me grab a new refill. Now I've got glue all over my hand, but that's fine. And I've now stuck my refill to my cardstock. Couldn't make it up. Now these, oh, it's already open, that's fine. These are open, resealable bags, so you can put the whole thing back in here if you're traveling, so you don't get it stuck all over everything. Traveling, that concept that we're beginning to get our heads around, but only a little. So that will go in the waste. Right, so what I find is when you've got a new roll of this, you have to find a bit of sticky to start it off, which is fine, but I do find it then is very easy, and it tends to tighten up a little the further into the reel you get. So I've got a wider margin than usual, so I need to allow for the wider margin than usual. Oh, I must remember, and I can't think why it's suddenly come to mind, must book the cats in for their annual check. Heaven only knows why that's suddenly come into my brain. Right, so that's that. Now, so I've got a bit of the cork, I've got a bit of this, and I've got a bit of this. Now, I think I might actually use just a straight bit of cork and some of this. Yes, I think. So I'm just going to trim a piece of this off. I want to use a bit of ribbon, and I want to use one of the longer sentiments. So trim a piece off, and oh, I should have trimmed that as well. Let's trim that as well. Oh no, I'm going to use this one, aren't I? I'm going to use this one. Right, so I want that, then this. I'm going to trim it all down. It's not going to be this big. So I think I want 3 blumps. So if I want 3 blumps being technical, you understand. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to trim it there, and there, and then all I need to decide is whether I want that sticking out the side or not. I'm tempted to have that going all the way to the edge. Hello, Karen from New Hampshire. Gosh, you're early it's early in the morning with you. Woohoo! Right, so that's going to go there, and then I'm going to get, I've already got a piece of this diamond weave, and I think I have a bit of an issue with this. Am I the only one? It's vanilla, and this is white, so I won't be using it on that. I think I might be using it on that. Right, so I want a sentiment, and I want a sentiment that's going to be reasonably long, so that I can cover the top of that. So I think that is what's called for, which I will stamp on a piece of white card. And I think I have a piece just here that will be more than big enough. So let's grab a block and Misty Moonlight ink. Get my sleeves out of the way. Ink that up. And I'll probably trim this down, and I might stamp it twice so that I can see exactly where it stamps. Oh, Deborah, that's wonderful. Yes, absolutely. I have a very, very personal language that is only mine. Oh dear, isn't it lovely? So, actually I'm going to just do that the once because it's straight, which is miraculous. Now, how wide is it? That's inches. Well, that's good. So I can trim that down to 3/4 of an inch and then use one of those lovely punches on it. Right, so I'm going to use my mini chopper again because I like my mini chopper for things like this. So 3/4 of an inch is there. Now I tend not, when it's a narrow piece like this, to go all the way to the top because it's so narrow that frankly it's academic. So I line it up on the line. Come on, just a bit more. And chop. Now it's a little narrower, as in it should be a little narrower than I've cut it, but I'm comfortable with that. And I'm going to bring in, eeny, meeny, miny, no. I think I might use that one. I'm going to bring in that one, which was the first of these that we had, I think. So, I think we all have our own language, Deborah. So I think that's going to probably go off the edge. So it's actually this end that I want to do something with. Let's just see how much gets chopped off. That much. So what I tend to do is decide where I want my end to be and then trim it to that. So I want that flaggy bit to be probably about there. So about there. So I need to cut it about there. Fingers crossed, this could go horribly wrong. I'm going to put it in upside down. Yeah, it's going to go horribly wrong. So I'm going to bring it back a wee bit because I can just see the stamping coming through. And then that. But I like having that little arrowy bit. So that is going to go on there. That's going to go on there. I'm probably actually going to go a bit further down, so we just end up with the little ziggy-zags. Right, ziggy-zags, another technical phrase. So I'm going to stick this on here with some glue. I like the wiggle room that you get with... Oh, I've just realised I've lost half of my nail varnish. Never mind. It's going to be floating around on my desk somewhere, probably. I like the wiggle room of the adhesive, of the liquid adhesive. So then I'm going to pop that and that together, but not together. In fact, I'm going to trim this. Which way? I think I'm going to trim it. In fact, what I think I'm going to do is feed it into here and trim it so with this punch, but I'm going to trim it so that it's at one side. Come on. Come on. So I want to use this same angle, which you can do. Just saying, you can do it. Right, this sticks on really well with just seal. It's paper on the back. It is actually cork on the front. Just listening to and watching crafters who are real. Me, ever so proper and scripted. Yeah, I like to be able. Ooh. Oh, I've changed my mind, by the way, on how we're doing this. I like to watch people who aren't scripted. So I work on the premises that I like that. Why would other people not? So this is going to go there. So I have changed my mind. So that's going to go there. And then this is going to go over the top. And then I'm going to put my sentiment, which I've buried, over that. So it's going to be like that. This I'm going to put on dimensionals. This I'm going to stick on with just some seal. Which, as I say, because the back is paper, it works perfectly well. What we are doing, though, is sticking to bedazzling, which is a little challenging, but it'll be fine. It will be fine. There is going to be no choice about this. It will be fine. So that I will then just trim off from the back. And then this I'm going to stick on dimensionals, bring it back a bit and trim it off there. So dimensionals. Yeah, I have to say I made a decision quite early on. So I've just had my 5th. Hi Heidi. We are still here. I made a decision very early on that I wasn't going to spend time editing videos because I don't like videos that are edited within an inch of their lives. So I was on the basis, well, if I don't like it, why would other people? So yeah, it takes too long. Absolutely, Lisa. We are still here, yes. Waves and smiles. Right, so this is going to go just over here. Go up a wee bit and across a wee bit. And of course what I haven't done is use any of the die cuts that I was going to use. Hey, don't necessarily think one needs it on this card. In fact, I may not use the die cuts at all. You never know. Good morning, Helen from Michigan. So I don't know that we need the die cuts, so I'm not going to put them on. I think what will be quite nice, just to lift it a little, is to use some of the copper metallic dots, which will go nicely with the dyed bedazzling. Absolutely, Heidi. We do have better things to do with our time. I've always said it takes about 5 times longer to edit the video than to record it, so I don't. Absolutely, Leslie. So long as one keeps one's language in check, it's fine. So I'm going to have one. No, I'm going to bring it down a bit. 1, 2, and one that's kind of just a bit random. So there we go. I do like these. They are not going to take over from the In Colour Jewels. It is very pretty paper, and it basically does the work for you. I love your slightly manic, crazy crafting. Yeah, I think that sums me up quite nicely. I mean, those of my team who have known me for a while, I think manic, slightly manic, is probably reasonable, wouldn't you say so? I mean, B has known me since basically forever, because we grew up together. She is slightly younger than I am, but we are much of an age. and lost touch, and crafting has brought us back together again, which is lovely. It's how it should be. Right, so that's our first card that has not used the die cuts that I said we were going to use. But there we are. I think that is really quite a pretty card, and it basically used scraps, because that was a bit of a scrap, that was a bit of a scrap. I mean, literally, that I'd already got, I'd used for something else, and just die cut it, and then just a piece of paper. It's, you know, what we should be doing, using every last little bit. Right, okay, so that's that one. So now I'm going to do something with this, and I think I will try very hard. Now, obviously, that card I would put a liner in. Next best thing to doing it face to face. Oh, bless you, Jan. I think also if something goes wrong, you sort it out and it show. Absolutely, that's part of why I do it, Leslie, because this is what I do all day, pretty much all day, every day. We all make mistakes, and I don't like people thinking that we don't, because we do. The best crafters in the world make mistakes. So this one, I think we will be using the die cuts. I also want to use the cork, and I think what we're going to be doing is something kind of like that. Although this is vanilla and this is obviously a white background, because I've not got white absolutely bang next door to it, I think we can get away with it. The other side is more of the bumblebee. I might bring in some other scraps of designer series paper just to lift it a little, but this is where my brain is going for the moment, and I think I'm going to go, am I going to go tonal? No, I think I'm going to go crumb cake, just to emphasize the lack of white, if you see what I mean. Quite, Leslie. Yes. Right, so this I have cut smaller than my normal size mat, but I do want something behind it, and I think I'm going to cut it down even more. And what I think I'm going to do is, I'm tempted to bring that in with then another colour. Yes, I know what I'm doing now. Have I already got some of it cut? Probably not. Oh, no. No, that's jade. The jade and the succulent are very close. I'm always getting them muddled. So, soft succulent. Ooh, we have a piece of soft succulent. We have... what? Oh, no, not that piece. That piece will do. Right. Okay, so I'm going to do soft succulent craft paper. Thank you, Lisa. I hope you enjoy it later. You're doing your census. Happy days. Yeah, I think did we do ours last year? I think it was last year. Right, so this I'm going to do largest. So this will be my usual 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. Right, 3 7/8. Now this is the size I normally cut my card to. Oh, we've got someone trolling. Remove. Sorry, we are not going to subscribe to you. We are going to... Gosh, do you know this is the first troll I've had? Hide user. Good. That's better. Seeing mistakes rectified has stopped me putting them in the bin. Absolutely, Judith. Do you know, I actually feel quite pleased that I've been trolled. Hello, Jenny. I hope things are better. Your card is on its way to you. It'll probably arrive in about a month. knowing international postage. Right, so that, then I'm going to cut this to 3 3/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to be gutting that. So to gut for this, I'm going to cut about 3/4 of an inch Hujima flip. Oh, we've got more. So yes, I'm going to gut this at about 3/4 of an inch. So I use this side of the trimmer. So yes, did anyone see the troll? Wasn't that fun? Fortunately, they were not using bad language. But yeah, I feel honoured to have had a troll. It's 3 weeks to get from here to the UK or to the States. Yeah, absolutely. So this piece from the middle, which I need to just pull out, I can use for something else. Now, I have to say the craft card is not that expensive, but I just want you to know that you can do that. What did he say? What, the troll? It was not in English, but it looked like, could you please subscribe to my channel? Or something like that. So it wasn't rude, it was just lots of it. I mean, there were about 20 messages by the time I spotted it. So I'm going to stick this on with liquid adhesive. And then I'm going to decide. So it was sort of good trolling, but you know. I just feel as if, you know, I must be making a bit of an impact if people are bothering to hop on my lives. Right, so that's that. Then I'm going to trim this down. Probably, certainly 1/4 of an inch, possibly a little bit more. Now, the craft card does curl a bit. No, there wasn't any swearing. 2 weeks from Australia to New Zealand? Seriously? 2 weeks to get something from Australia to New Zealand? Good heavens. So, as I say, I'm going to cut at least 1/4 of an inch off this, and I'm going to see what that looks like. So, let's take that off and see what that looks like. No, I want a little bit more. So I'm going to take another 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to take 3/8 of an inch off in total. So that's there. So we're going to have a very sort of small piece of the designer series paper. And I'm not going to go all the way around, but the ends I am going to stick fully, just because the craft paper does curl a bit, so I want those to definitely be in place. I can almost understand 2 weeks within Australia if it was going, say, from Adelaide to Perth, because that is quite a long way from memory. I remember many years ago, and I may have told this story already, but I was visiting some relatives in Perth many years ago, I mean 30 years ago, and I stopped off in Hong Kong. So I had a flight, I flew to Hong Kong, stopped, and then flew on to Perth. And as we were flying over Australia, someone behind me said, "Ooh, I quite like that as well," said, when they announced over the tannoy that we were crossing the border, someone said, "Oh, we're nearly there then." And it was pointed out that that would be like saying we're nearly in Gibraltar when we've just crossed the north coast of Norway, which I thought was quite a nice way of putting it. It's a long way from the north of Australia to perf. So yes, kind of put it into perspective. I'll cut it to there, I think. So I'm just trimming off the die cut bit at the bottom. And we'll get rid of that, keep my fingers out of the way. So again, I'm going to be having things over here, but I am going to include die cuts this time. That way up will be better. And I'm going to trim off that little bit because it annoys me. And then which die cuts shall we use? I'm going to put these behind these. I think I might actually flare them a bit. Yeah. Ooh, I wonder. Yes. Right, surgery time. Bit of surgery. Right, okay, so I'm going to stick these down so that they're there. So I'm going to trim those there. So this is where having a pair of craft tweezers is quite useful. But that's true, Heidi. We are all very lucky that we are still getting mail and Stampin' Up products. You know, I mean, New Zealand, poor loves, for a while they weren't getting Stampin' Up products. I don't think it was quite that bad in Australia, but I know New Zealand were sans product. Right, so that's that. Then I'll pop that on. Again, I'm going to do some surgery because this is quite large. Because what I want is to then come back in with that one, but shorter. And we're going to have our piece there. So, let's see, about there, I think. So I'm going to cut that to there. So that's going to go there, overlapping a little bit, and then this one will come down even further. So we'll cut to there, and I'll just trim that bit off just in case. Right, okay, so again I'm going to use my tweezers. I wish we did these tweezers. How's about we can still get mail and goodies? Absolutely. Dr. Liz is in the house. Yeah. I'm doing a bit of surgery. I think sometimes it can be very tempting to just go, that's the shape of the die cut. And no, it's not. It's the shape of a die cut that I can chop. And then our last little one goes there. I can bring it right the way out to there. And then once we've got the bits on, it'll look a bit more mint, I hope. So we're going to pop that on. We're going to cover these, basically. So we're going to pop... In fact... Ooh, there's a thought. There is a thought. Oh, I'm thinking... I'm pink, therefore I'm spam. I'm thinking, and no, I don't know where that came from, but I could have... Good luck... C block, I think. Don't think we need the D block. C block will do fine. Clean C block would be even better. So we're going to have that there, because that will kind of tuck into the zigzag. Ooh, I like this. Right, I'm going to go craft with white heat embossing, I'm thinking. So we're bringing the craft back in. So white heat embossing powder. Because this is quite fibrous, we do need to be quite generous with our embossing buddy. Not that we sell it anymore, but whatever you use, corn flour works. So you can put corn flour in some muslin, something like that. That will work. It's really something just to soak up the oils. If in doubt, chop it out. Hello, Barbara. So, I'm hoping that is actually going to be straight when I have finished stamping it. What I tend to not do, particularly when I'm doing heat embossing, is rock too much. Although when you're heat embossing, you can at least take off the powder if you rock too much and you've inked up the edge of your stamp, which can be a thing. Right. Yep. Okay, so let's pop that away. Heat up my heat tool and grab the trusty cheese board, which hasn't seen light of day for a while. Right. Now don't panic, it's going to be fine. I know it's curling, it's going to be fine. And there we go. Oh, so just to remind those of you who are in the team, we have our team meeting tomorrow night, and again I posted that, all the information of that out yesterday, and it's on our team Facebook group, just as a gentle reminder. So that's going to go over there, and you see we can tuck. It's almost like I planned it. We can tuck, I might bring it a long one, the good luck in between the zigzags. Yay! You've got to love it. Right, okay. Sometimes these things just work, and other times they don't. Right, so I need to be aware of how far I'm going to come across, although actually I'm having a think. I am doing a definite I'm pink, therefore I'm spam. Was that a Monty Python, or was it a Two Ronnies? May not even have been that. I've missed the trusty cheese board as well, but we've got it back. It's fine. So, oh, I need to chop another bit off. Ooh, where's my chopper? There it is. So that's going to go on in there, so I can chop about there. This is all very accurate measuring, as you will see. But we are going to layer things up, and if in doubt, I can always... Actually, yeah, I think I'll go that far, so that's about an inch. Right, okay, so this is going to go on there. This is going to go over there. This is going to go on top just to bring in some colour. And then this is going to go on top of that. Yes, right, so what I'm going to do is actually fussy cut the bottom of Good Luck. In fact, I may even fussy cut the top of the... Yeah, so what I'm going to do is come down from the G. This could go horribly wrong. Let me just get this right. So, I go there. Still think I want to go there. No, I'm going to go in the first one. Right, okay, so I'm going to fussy cut the bottom of this. And the craft is actually quite easy to fussy cut. It's not quite as resistant as a normal card. It is quite absorbent, which is why the stamping is a little smudgy, or the heat embossing is a little smudgy. is because it absorbs into the paper quicker and spreads out a bit. So round the corner. As I say, this could go horribly wrong. And I'm going to go at quite an angle to begin with. "6 p.m, Lorna." Yes, 6 p.m. tomorrow. Right, so if I go straight up from the K, I will be about right. She says, famous last words. Yes! Love it when a plan comes together. Right, I'm going to put a very, very fine little dribble of liquid adhesive along the top of my good luck and then stick my cork to it, because that's going to be easier than trying to handle a very fragile and sticky bit of cork. So that's going to go there. Then we're going to have our paper. Then we're going to have our ribbon. I'm going to bring it all down a bit so that we cover up the bottoms of the stems. Right, so I'm going to stick this on. How much glue do I need? I need about that much. Let's trim that there. So, and then we're nearly finished. Woohoo! So do remember that if you don't already subscribe, why not? Please do subscribe. Please like and share, particularly those of you overseas. It's a great way of supporting me even though you're overseas, because obviously you can't buy from me or join my team unless you're in Europe. So it's a lovely way to be able to help me, and would be much appreciated. So that's going to go there. I'm going to use my grid paper to get it reasonably straight. There we go. So I'm not going to push the end bit down too much. So then we can add a little bit of adhesive to the back of this. Oop. Making sure it's the right way up, and I'm going to go off that way a bit because I don't want this to all be lined up, you know, neatly. So that's going on there. And then this is going to be interesting to stick down. I'm thinking a bit of seal, actually. Do you reckon? Do you reckon seal will do it? Should we give it a go? See what happens? Because I think we want to be able to get the holes away. By which I mean just take your pick and get the adhesive out of the holes. There we go. And then that I can stick on top with its frayed end, because I don't like the frayed end. I'd like it even more if it wasn't stuck underneath. So that can then go there. Then we can take the whole lot and add that to our card base and then trim the ends off. Woo! Or glue dots. Yeah, you see, that would have been too sensible, Lorna. That takes using your brain. But yes, glue dots would be the way to go. Don't you love it? So we can glue all of that down, and then let's pop the lid on, and then I'm going to use my sticky scissors. These are the ones I keep for using with sticky stuff, and just trim off the back like that, and then pop all of that in the bin. And that is our second card, made from scratch, literally. Right, so let's get rid of it, clear the decks a bit. Let's clear the decks. So I never did use that bit, but that's fine. So our 2 cards are those 2. Let me just clean the sticky off my take your pick. Hello, Barb. You are a little late, but you can watch us on replay. So there we go. Those are our 2 cards. I know I said we were going to use the die cuts, and we have used 2 of them, and not the other one. But let's see, where have I put the other one? Where did it go? Where's it hidden itself? Because I can use it. There it is. So going back to, do we have a thistle or don't we? I know this wasn't the one you were thinking about, Audrey, but tell me that's not a thistle. Just a thought. So there we go. Those are my 2 cards for today using Nature's Harvest. As I say, this is going to be, Harvest Meadow is going to be the class for the next class I launch, which will be in 10 days or thereabouts. Very long phone call. I'm going to be, you're going to be a grandma! Whoop, whoop! Whoop, whoop, whoop! Tomorrow. Ooh, good luck. So there we are. One with a little bit of bling, one with not so much bling, and a thistle, especially for Audrey. So, as I say, do remember to give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe, bottom right-hand corner if you don't already. Thank you, Margaret. Yes, it is a thistle. If you chop it off and turn it upside down, that's a thistle. I'm going to just flip up so I can see you properly. So I can say goodbye properly. I was always taught to say goodbye properly. Oh, but C-sections, if you're doing it in advance, it's not as bad, I think. A friend of mine who had a baby recently, it was an emergency C-section, which is not quite so good. Thank you, Leda. Leda. I can crucify people's names. You're welcome to look for me. Karens. There's lots of Karens on today. So thank you very much for joining me. As I say, do remember to give me a thumbs up. Vote for me on Kylie's International Blog Highlights. If there are any orders you can sneak in and you're in Europe between now and the end of September, I would be very grateful so that I might earn the incentive trip. That would be wonderful. Claire, drop me an email whenever you want and we can sort out joining, which would be lovely. And in the meantime, have a fantastic day, night, morning, afternoon. I will be back here Thursday, 3 o'clock UK time. For those of you, now someone asked me what the time difference is between here and California. I think it's 9 hours. I don't know, but I think it's 9 hours. Or it may be 7. I don't know. There are wonderful websites that will tell you the difference in time. Good, Heidi. Glad to hear it. 9 o'clock with Jenny in Australia. So, yes, have a fantastic day. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I will pop up the end screen and then we will finish.